From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. With indication tonight that the continuing resolution will have $1.5 trillion of discretionary spending included in there by both the Democrats and the House and the Republicans, and that discretionary spending will include money that cabinet members like Janet Yellen, head of Treasury, and IRS can send out as well. OMG, I have the breaking news in tonight's recording. We're going to go over the latest details about the Build Back Better Act that passed back in November, now sent to the Senate, and CR for Stimulus 1.0 that is going to have that incredible discretionary spending. But what about CR for Stimulus 2.0, the second body of legislation out of the House that will be merged with the Senate version 3.0 that wants to give you economic recovery as well from the Republicans? Oh my goodness, seats for stimulus is back on, baby. Then we'll be looking at SS 400. Did you hear me right? Yeah, you heard me right. SS 400. This is the incredible great news, what the president can do by just picking up the phone and calling over to the Social Security Administrator that he put in to replace Commissioner Saul, and you could see $400 more per month across the land. I have all the incredible details tonight across this video. Then we'll be looking back into the incredible checks that are in the Build Back Better Act and what's at issue across the land. We'll be looking at the Senate and what it has now with Build Back Better and also CR for Stimulus 1.0, 2.0, and 3 and 4.0 with the situation for Ukraine and Russia heating up. We'll be looking at SS 400, and then we'll be looking at the big money that viewers are continuing to get tonight. Viewers are getting on average $10, $20, $30, $40,000 this week. Stay to the very end. It's third stimulus. I'm going to show you how to get these big sums of money. Everything's looking beautiful. It's just looking so wonderful until the person with the lobster shorts walks into the room. Oh, we were going so well. All those incredible details start out right now, starting right here as Evenings LA gets underway. Hey, good evening, everybody. What a big night this is. Breaking news across the land. I'm excited you're here because guess what? In addition to CR for Stimulus 1.0 now having $1.5 trillion of discretionary spending included, oh my goodness. Then we got SS 400 in this video. We got the Ukraine CR for Stimulus 4.0, 2.0, 3.0. We got a lot of money in this accordion. Plus, we'll be looking back over the incredible checks of the Build Back Better Act that pays about $60,000. And congratulations to the viewers of this channel who have listened and learned and took notes because they got $10, $20, $30, $40,000 this week. See at the very end, I'm going to show you how to get this big sums of money because I bet you want that money going into a new week. We're going to go over all those incredible details and what is SS 400 and why Joe Biden wants all these incredible checks to go out, automatic adult checks. He wants every check in the Build Back Better to go out to you as quickly as possible, and suddenly Republicans do as well. Well, not the Build Back Better Act, but their checks. What's going on? We got a big recording tonight. I'm excited you found me. It's all breaking news tonight. And my friends, you're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, but I need your assistance. And I need it right now. Go right in this video right now and hit that subscribe button and bring this channel to number 2. Number 2 financial news channel in America, our next stop, print, broadcast, cable, and internet. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member Monday through Friday. You'll get that incredible newsletter, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time if you're a member to this channel. Also sign up for those LA alerts, a link to which is under the video's description. Wow, we got a lot in tonight's recording. We're going to go starting over Build Back Better, then over to the incredible breaking news about that $1.5 trillion of discretionary money that could include your stimulus check in the CR. Wow, this is huge, folks. This is what we wanted to hear. Then we're going to go over to SS 400. Yeah, you heard me right, SS 400. And also the big money across the land. But let's first start with Build Back Better Act. The first stimulus recon passed in the House, now in the Senate, and it has a lot of checks in there. We're going to go over all those incredible checks that has at least $15,000 to $60,000 of checks in that incredible recon. 3 clusters, 3 add-ons. Let's go over each of them starting right now. Hazard pay is the first cluster for my earned income tax credit. My essential workers, 1 more year of that put in there under third stimulus. $4,000 of elder care got in there. $4,000 of care for young children. They got the CTC child tax credit, $3,600 got it in there as well. The Pell Grant, $550 checks got it in there. The money for a new electric vehicle, $12,500, and the money to repair your home if you live in a low-income community. Now, one of the most exciting checks of this Build Back Better Act is an add-on. It's the first of 3, and it comes from Maxine Waters here in Southern California. She got this check in there, and it is money to go buy your first home. Oh my goodness. This is money that would be given from the federal government to the seller in your name at the time of escrow's closing. About a little bit less than $25,000. And yes, it's money from the federal government to the seller at the time of escrow closing. It's huge. Now let's turn to the second cluster of checks, and we got home repairs. This is to weatherize your home. Then paid leave. Oh my goodness. This is a lot of money. What is paid leave? It's if you have to stay home due to sickness or illness. And how much do you get? A lot. And this is the numbers, folks. $70,000 annual income, you would get $1,700 a week. If you make $35,000 or more, it would be about $800 a week. $15,000 or more, $400 a week. How many weeks? 4 a week, 6 weeks per year. Yeah, it's a lot of money, folks. And that is $4,000 to $6,000. W-2, 1099, you all qualify for this money. Now, if you don't work, but your son or daughter does work and lives with you, that's part of the household. And if they have to take off from work because you have got to go to the doctor, they're going to get the check. There you go. It's incredible. And that is paid leave. The paid leave is in there, and the paid leave ain't leaving. The checks are checking, and the paid leave ain't leaving. That is the second cluster of checks. Now let's go to that second add-on, and you know who it comes from? It comes from Bob Casey, that incredible senator from Pennsylvania. $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. You heard me right. They don't have it currently, but it would be free. $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Now let's turn to that third cluster of checks. Seniors and free internet. Free internet for all, checks. Independent contractor, checks. Farmers, checks. Free school meals for all, checks. And then seniors, lots of checks. 2 on the House, more on the Senate. On the House side, they got the Medicaid gap fix for those 12 Republican holdout states. And then they got the hearing checks. The senators vow to add in their dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. But we're far from over with that, because guess what? Senators have other checks to add in there, and you know what those other checks are. Write those 3 letters in the live chat if you're in the live chat right now. I see them. It's MSC. MSC, automatic adult stimulus checks. The children get the CTC check. They don't need this one because they can't get 2 checks. They get the CTC checks. These are those automatic adult IRS monthly checks. And Joe Biden says from his spokesperson, Andrew Bates, that he wants every check of the Build Back Better Act to go out ASAP. Well, the Bates Motel or the Yates Motel is open for service. Show up dressed appropriately, which means not wearing lobster shorts. Let's go over what these MSC checks are. First, who gets them? Where do you get them? And how much is it? But first, what is it? It stands for monthly IRS stimulus check. It's a check that goes out from IRS to you. The first stimulus recon has monthly checks, multiple checks in there, upwards of 60,000, but these are checks that go out from IRS. Who gets it? The senators represent that if you got a third stimulus check, you get a fourth. Single individuals, 75,000 or less annual income, you get it. Married couple, 150,000 or less, you get it. Double it. Family of four, you get it, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security rail benefits, you get as well. Adult dependents also get it. It is not income, it ain't taxable. It's offered nationwide, not on a state-by-state basis. And it goes off the most recent tax return. So if that tax return had a direct deposit account listed, that's how you get paid, otherwise in the mail. And there you go. That is MSC. So then that leaves us the question of how much? $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. Joe Biden wants these checks to go out, wants every check of the Build Back Better Act to go out right away. And these are adult automatic checks. Now, let's go over to the question of how they get this into Build Back Better by looking at the modification of a House bill currently in the Senate. You heard me right. The Build Back Better Act is a House bill currently in the Senate, and the senators have a lot of changes to make. So let's go over those equations right now. The House passed the legislation, the Senate said it, and the Senate would make modifications during Senate subcommittee, then send it to the Senate floor for a vote, and then they have a Senate bill. Then a 2-day vote-a-rama, done, signed by the president. But that hasn't happened just yet. So 3 Saturdays ago, I brought them back on this channel, CR for stimulus, because we need something faster, quicker, nonpartisan, has an inherent deadline, and CR for stimulus hits it on the nail. Don't know what CR for stimulus is? I'm going to bring you a review right now. CR for stimulus was a creation of me on this channel in 2020. Back in 2020, the first stimulus package had ended. We had gotten it. We used up the money, and we needed more money. It was the start of the pandemic in 2020. And we were told that a second stimulus package was in the works. Package, 3,000 pages in length, huge, not bipartisan, partisan. And the negotiators were Nancy Pelosi out of San Francisco on behalf of the Democrats, Speaker of the House, and Steve Mnuchin on behalf of the Republicans out of New York, Treasury Secretary. Spring, no deal. Summer, no deal. Fall, no deal. Winter, no deal. By December, no deal. And I said, that ain't going to work for me. We got to find a solution. So I thought, this is what I want. I want something that's bipartisan, a small bill, not a package, just a few hundred pages in length, has an inherent deadline, can get done quickly. So I looked high and low and I found it. A continuing resolution, CR. It's exactly that. It's just a few hundred pages in length. It has an inherent deadline. It's something to fund the federal government. They do it every 3 to 6 months. It's also called CR, but has a lot of different names, like continuing resolution. Goes with bipartisan support, may be rolled over a few days, a few weeks, maybe a month, but not several months. And that's why I like the idea. Insert a stimulus check in the CR. December 2020 was the deadline at the time. So I prepared the recording to say on air, and I prepared for the criticism I anticipated, and I made the first recording in December 2020. And this is what it sounded like. Hey, everybody, it's LALATE. It's December 2020, and we've been watching the second stimulus package for 11 months. No deal. Steve and Nancy, we need something else. I came up with an idea overnight. Tell me if you like the idea. CR for stimulus. You know what the hashtag campaign is. Write it in the live chat. The concept is to insert a stimulus check into the continuing resolution that has a December 2020 deadline. The reason I like this is it doesn't get rolled over. Few days, few weeks, maybe a month, but not several months. Number 2, bipartisan support. Everyone's going to do it. And number 3, it's small, just a few hundred pages. Viewers loved it, and we advocated for it. And then came the criticism, just as anticipated. The criticism said, it don't belong in there, LALATE. It don't belong in there. I was surprised. No, I was anticipating these criticisms. The criticism was it doesn't belong in there. A check for the American people? No, it's a check to fund the federal government. My reaction was prepared. You're right. It doesn't belong in there. But since the start of Congress, they've passed legislation where they've inserted checks in there that don't belong. And during the pandemic, they're notorious for this. They had a COVID relief bill that proposed to fund foreign military governments, a COVID relief bill to build a new FBI building, a COVID relief bill to expand the Department of Copyrights. Those don't belong in there. So let me get a check in there for ourselves, and we push CR for Stimulus 2020. And we woke up one morning, and suddenly it was in there. So we thought. We were told stimulus was in there. So we looked and we realized, no, it's unemployment stimulus. That's wrong. Good try. We're looking for stimulus checks. We pushed again, and then we woke up, and finally it was in there. In December 2020, the December 2020 CR finally got a $600 stimulus check in there. I made history because my creation became law. Purple Power, the viewership of this channel, became history because they, as an advocacy group, pushed and got it and became a law. The $600 check went out. You got it. The rest is history. What also happened? Second stimulus fell apart. Never became law. Never got a bill. Never got a vote. Never paid you a penny. Thank goodness for CR for Stimulus. Well, what has happened to CR for Stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4.0? Well, 3 Saturdays ago, I went back on air. I said, you want to do it again? Do you want to do CR for Stimulus in 2020 again now? It's been 11 months of negotiations. Joe Manchin and Joe Biden. It's a package. It's 3,000 pages in length. It's partisan. It's not bipartisan. It looks like CR for Stimulus 2020. You want to do it again? The viewers said yes. So 3 Saturdays ago, I went back on air. I said, let's do it. And we did. And within just days, the House members said, we are ready with our version. Wow, that was fast. The House members said we need other pieces of economic legislation in addition to the Build Back Better Act. We're going to still do the Build Back Better Act, the Forced Stimulus Recon, but these additional pieces of legislation need to go out first. And it passed in the House within 24 hours, sent over to the Senate, where the Senate Republicans, led by Todd Young, says, we got our version ready to merge with the House Democrats' version. Oh my goodness. What's the update on that? I have the update on CR for Stimulus 2 and 3.0 right after the commercial break. But the biggie, you saw it in the teaser in the opening remarks. CR for Stimulus 1.0 now has $1.5 trillion, not billion, trillion dollars of discretionary funds allocated in it that can be sent out by cabinet members and their agencies, including, Janet Yellen, who oversees IRS. Oh boy, it's getting good. All the latest details on this coming up after this commercial break. Then we'll be looking at the Ukraine-Russia situation, which is CR for Stimulus 4.0. And you've heard about it for 2 years, SS200. But tonight you hear about SS400 and how Joe Biden can do it with simply the picking up of the phone. $400 on top of your existing benefits. The reality is upon us if Joe Biden tunes in tonight. Tell him to tune in. Pick up the phone and say, Joe, watch his recording tonight. I'll show you why SS400 can become a reality as simple as a phone call. The latest details coming up on that in the second half of this video. Plus, you want thousands of dollars to start a new week? I'll show you how viewers have listened and learned and how they got $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 this week. Yeah, this is on top of the $40,000 they've gotten in recent weeks as well. It's the latest sums of money under third stimulus. The latest details on that. More coming up after the commercial break. You got a big breaking news recording. See you back in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE as the House of Representatives passed the fourth stimulus recon of the Build Back Better Act, but has now also passed CR for Stimulus 2.0. That will be merged with CR for Stimulus 3.0 that the Senate Republicans vowed to get done and merged together. What is going on here? It's street for stimulus? No, it is seats for stimulus. Coming up in the second half of this video. Plus $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds that can include a stimulus check for you. Oh my goodness, I got that in the second half of this video. Then we'll be looking at the big money that is in the Build Back Better Act and the big money across the board that you can get. And SS 400, you heard me right. Who needs SS 200 when you can do 400? I'm going to show you how Joe Biden just needs to pick up the phone and make a phone call, and suddenly you could see an additional $400 in your bank account for your benefits monthly, not just this year, but lifetime, and that's just to start. Boy, folks, we got a big second half of this video, and then I'm going to show you how to get thousands, tens of thousands of dollars tonight. We're just getting started. I'm excited you're here, but first I want you to go under this video and subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. I need you to subscribe and bring this channel to number 2. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP to get that incredible newsletter, Monday through Friday, that comes out from the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, the link to which is under the video's description. And with that, we're going to start up with where we left off with CR for Stimulus 1.0. The incredible breaking news tonight is that $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds have been negotiated upon both by Democrats and Republicans, House and Senate, to be added in the continuing resolution. Oh boy, folks, this is a biggie. So many things at hand. First, let's go over the discretionary funds. The discretionary funds means that the cabinet members, like Janet Yellen, who is the Treasury Secretary and oversees IRS, has discretion on how to use the funds. Discretionary means they have the choice of how to use the funds. Then let's go over the price tag. $1.5 trillion. That is humongous. It's enormous. It's huge. During 2020, we talked about Donald and Nancy negotiating stimulus packages ad nauseum, and he was talking about 900 billion, and she was at 3 trillion. You get a lot done at 1.5, folks. That is a lot of leeway to get a check in there. So tonight you want to really advocate to those legislators. They have passed a stopgap, and that stopgap means that they will be rolling this over to the first week approximately of March. But it's important to advocate to those legislators and say, you know what? You got $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds in the incredible CR. Put a stimulus check in there. You want to advocate to the same guys and gals we've advocated to before. They are Schumer, Sanders, Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, and there we go again, Sanders and Schumer. You want to advocate to them because this is what you need to say. You know what? I've had your back through Build Back Better Act, and now we have the CR with $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds. You promised us a stimulus check. We don't have Build Back Better Act done just yet. You want to retain your congressional seats, insert a stimulus check in there, and you can. Now let's recap so you understand what else to say to these people. In December 2020, when we got CR for stimulus to become a law, it was 30 to 60 days out from what major event? Those 2 Senate Georgia seats. Everyone wanted to give you money to retain their Senate seat. And what you're going to see in the next minute or two in this recording is that suddenly House and Senate, Republicans and Democrats suddenly want to show you money to retain and pick up seats. So you want to advocate to include that to ensure that discretionary funds is used on you. And boy, I haven't seen a day like this where suddenly we have bipartisan support for a small bill, a few hundred pages in length, has an inherent deadline, has funds allocated and it's discretionary, and it's within the zone of the department, I can make it as simple as to say just advocate to Janet Yellen, but I'm making it a little bit more broader and say just advocate to all the senators so that she hears the message as well. It's her discretion. It's not the senator's discretion. It's the cabinet member's discretion. So this is very on point. This is very, I don't want to say simplistic, but this is not so complicated if you get the person who has the discretion over the funds to spend it on you. And where would they get the message from? The senator's calling over to the White House saying, cabinet member, spend the money on us. It's as simple as that. Now let's go over to CR for Stimulus 4.0, the latest details on that. It has been now upwards of 3 months when I said to you back in November of last year that Vladimir Putin and Ukraine will be the number one issue for financial markets of early 2022. It's very much so. If you've been watching the stocks, the bond, and the crypto movements in the last 2 weeks, they've been very down and they will continue to be down. And the situation is very far from over. We're very unclear whether Vladimir Putin is faking to invade, is invading, unsure he's going to invade. A lot of very conflicting reports. But CR for Stimulus is talking about sanctioning Vladimir Putin, even based upon what he's done so far. Lindsey Graham, Republican. Marco Rubio, Republican. Did I say Marco Rubio? Yeah, that's no, he's not Russian. Marco Rubio, Florida, Republican. And Bob Menendez, Democrat, all say need to get this passed before he invades. It has bipartisan support, and it should be on the agenda and get done right away. This, again, fits the equation of a CR. It's not a CR, but it fits the motif. Small bipartisan, inherent deadline, get the check added in there as well. Now let's turn to this surprise of CR for Stimulus 2 and 3.0. Now, when I use this numbering system on this channel, it's to keep track of it for you. They're not using the numbering system. I'm using the numbering system. The House Democrats said, Joe, I like Build Back Better. We're going to get it done, but we need other pieces of economic legislation to go and get out because millions of Americans are struggling. So the House Democrats passed that economic legislation last week, sent it to the Senate. The Senate Republicans said we're going to merge it with our version. Senate Republicans, you heard me right, going to merge it with the House Democrats. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they're doing it. What's going on? It's Seats for Stimulus 2022 version. What's going on right now? It's very different, folks, than 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when we were in 2020, Mitch and the Republicans were able to say, oh, the economy's really good. I don't see any economic data that suggests it's bad. I think it's really good. Now, the Republicans are saying the economy's bad. The Democrats are to blame. The Democrats saying the economy's bad. We're not to blame, but we got to fix it. Everyone says it's bad. Everyone says we got to fix it. So the viewers and the voters all say, to fix it, you got to do it now. I'm not going to vote for you if you just promise something. You got to do it right now. You're in office right now. So Republicans and Democrats all believe that to retain seats and to gain seats in the House and Senate, they need to pass pieces of legislation right now. And that is why we have people like Senate Democrats who are talking about cutting taxes, which is a very Republican platform, this week. That's why we have Senate Republicans talking about doing economic recovery, which is a very Democrat platform. Suddenly the two platforms are merging closer together because they know they need to get you relief. And that is huge. Now, let's go to the talk of the town, the talk of the internet that was exploding like bad lobster shorts last night on this channel when I delivered the first recording of SS400. You heard me right, SS400. What is SS400? The concept of adding an additional $400 on top of your benefits check if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. After Liz Warren in 2020, Joe Biden in 2020 promised you $200 on top of your checks and didn't deliver. Tonight, I'm going to show you how Joe Biden can do this with a simple phone call. And boy, I got new twists on this tonight. What's going on? What's going on is that during the 2020 run for president, the Democrats had a lot of candidates, and one of them was Liz Warren. She promised to remove the income cap by act of Congress, the asset cap by act of Congress, the marriage penalty by act of Congress, but also to give you $200 a month additional on top of your existing benefits for 6 to 12 months only, and remove COLA and replace it with inflation as new benchmark. She bowed out of her run for president, and then Joe Biden said, I like Liz's policies. I'm going to adopt hers. He won the general election. And then during his transition papers at joebiden.com, which are still published, he promised those $200 a month, saying it was urgent. He never delivered. So then Democrats said, we're going to do it for the American people because Joe hasn't done it. And it became the talk of this channel in 2021, this stimulus. It was supposed to be going to drafting by now, but it hadn't happened. So earlier this week, I talked about the need to bring it back, SS200, because it hasn't gotten done. And last night I showed you how SS400 is the reality. What's at issue? Let's go over the numbers. First, let's go over what this is talking about. Then we're going to go over the numbers. Then we're going to go over how this works. The concept is very simple. An additional lift of your benefits that would kick in now, then more by December of this year, and then more every year thereafter. The reality is that the numbers I'm about to show you when run show you that on average, you could be getting about $400 more per month starting this coming December. An additional about $300 starting right now, and then an additional $100 starting in December. So it's a total about $400 between now and December. What's going on? What's going on is the following. The current benchmark for your benefits is COLA. It's been that same benchmark for many, many years. It doesn't work. Everyone agrees COLA is a horrible benchmark because it doesn't move. If you look at 2010 to 2011, no move. 2011 to 2012, no move. 2014, you see the message. It doesn't move. So everyone wants to replace COLA with inflation. When you replace COLA with inflation, you get a higher number. Now, all Joe Biden has to do is replace COLA with inflation. He can't do it, but I'll show you in a second how he can get it done. If you replace COLA today with inflation today, what do you get? You get an additional about $300 more per month on top of your existing benefits. If you keep it that way with inflation, by the end of this year, what will you get starting January next year? About another $100 on top of your existing benefits. That's $400 on top of your existing benefits. Okay, now you understand what we're talking about. Now let's go over the calculation of it. This is very simple. Inflation has a current number, which we now know for December 2021, 2 months ago, that fell exactly in line of where I said it was going to be last spring. Last spring, the Federal Reserve, led by Jay Powell, said that inflation was going to go up by December 2021, 1 to 2%, and be temporary, transitory, and come back down. This is the hand gesture I used at the time. I said, I don't buy it. I said, I think it's going to be 8%, and it's not going to be temporary. It's going to stay that high for several months. Wall Street at the time said 2 to 3% and transitory. I said, I don't buy it. I said, 8%, not going to go back down. Well, in December 2021's numbers released last month, because it released a month later, came in at 7.5%. Right on the money where I'm saying 8%. So it was not that 1 or 2%. It was also not COLA. That was 5.9%. Now, what happened just a few days ago? The producer price index number came in, which is not exactly inflation, but it's an indicator of where inflation may be landing. And it came in almost at 11%, folks, for January. So that's exactly, again, what I'm saying. That inflation for this month, for the last month, January 2022, will not be 7%. It's likely to still be it's not going to be at 4% or 5%. It's likely still going to be hovering around this 8% range that I've been talking about. It's not going to be transitory, temporary. It's still going to be high. It may even be worse. Now, with that guidance, that means that if Joe Biden switched us from COLA to inflation today, you'd be at about a 7.5% to 8% raise of your benefits. That's an additional $300 more per month. Now, what happens this December? Well, in December, they reassess your benefits again. And remember, once your benefits step up, they never step down. Where is inflation supposed to be this December? The economic data coming out all this week suggests that inflation is expected to be somewhere in the 4% range this December, which is higher than the 2 to 3% generally. Well, you can do the numbers. 8% raise of your benefits up now, and then another 4% raise of your benefits up next December or next January. Folks, that's about 11%. That's about $400 more per month. There you go. So how does Joe Biden do this? other than watch this channel and take notes. The way Joe Biden does this is simply picks up the phone and calls. The President of the United States does not do this by executive order. He just picks up the phone and contacts the Social Security administrative head that he put in when he fired Commissioner Saul because millions of Americans were not getting their third stimulus check on time. Remember that debacle? Joe Biden fired Commissioner Saul, put a new SS head in there. He just picks up the phone and calls that person today and say, hey, I want you to replace COLA with inflation, start doing it 30 days out. Done. Not executive order, not an act of Congress, nothing other than a phone call. We're done. And it's as simple as that. Joe Biden should do this. He promised this, and this would be a game changer. Now, a little bit of a commentary right here. And I'm not going to cover this again on another video. I did on Afternoons Today, but I won't do it again. Shortly after I delivered the SS400 video last night, the same thing happens sometimes on this channel that happened again as well. For some reason, some SSI, SSDI viewers have been, I don't know, had a history of thinking that every time there's good news for them, there's bad news behind it. So some people heard the SS400 and immediately said, oh, but it's going to be bad because there's going to be some catch on the back end. Please don't predispose yourself to always thinking that good news for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veteran benefits is backed end with a bad news. Please don't do it. If it was bad news, I wouldn't deliver it on this channel. I wouldn't give you good news and not the other side of the story. So don't think about that across the board. It's not true. All right, now let's go into the president's opportunity to repurpose the sums of money. The president can. This is a little bit different. This all involves repurposing sums of money that are out there. I'll feature it tonight more on the evening's extra show, but the concept is very simple. Agencies have programs that are established by act of Congress, and those programs often end, but the money is still there. All the president has to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, repurpose that money and send it out. If you found extra sums of money that can be repurposed by Joe Biden, send me a private message on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This is not executive order. This is just a phone call that, again, Joe Biden can do. And away we go and rock and roll. Now, let's go back into the incredible provisions of the fourth stimulus recon. And then what I want to do is also look at this big success stories that viewers have gotten with third stimulus, rent, and more. And then I have some commentary to end tonight's video as well. So the Build Back Better Act will get done. Andrew Bates or Yates or whatever motel he runs, in a comment from Joe Biden says, the president believes that fourth stimulus recon will become a law. It will become a law. And the checks will go out, and that he wants them to go out as soon as possible. And the MSCs are those automatic adult checks. The CTC are the checks for the children. And what are the other checks in there? There's about $60,000 of them. Get your pen and paper out to take notes with me right now. Here we go. They got in there the tax rate checks, raising from $10,000 to $72,500 of what you can deduct in state and local taxes. They got cheaper prescription medication in there as well, growing from 20 medications a day one to 30 medications a year 2028, $40 billion of free job training to take a higher paying job. They got the housing. We'll go over that more in a second. Then they got in there the nutrition, $65 a month. They got the hazard pay, the earned income tax credit for my essential workers. Under third stimulus broadened, continuing one more year. They got in there also the CTC, the child tax credit for the children's check, $3,600, one more year. And then they got the household tax credit. But the housing one is really the big success story. The housing is the rent, utilities, mortgages, assistance, and they're repeating from third stimulus, also in fourth stimulus. But boy, folks, this is a big success story. And right now, I'm going to show you how viewers have listened and learned, and how 2 viewers, not 2, actually 4, this week got big sums of money. And if you've gotten sums of money, send me a private message. I got a few more messages right before I went on air, but I'll feature them tomorrow. And here we go and rock and roll. Nisi says, hey, I got another $7,000 for rent and $3,000 of rent utilities additional. She got an additional $10,000 this week. Do you want to go on the weekend with $10,000 additional in your hand? I think you do. Stay with me. I'm going to show you how. I told you I would have an update. You do have an update, DC. And here's Karen. She got an additional $22,500 for rent, an additional $12,500 for SNAP, and then an additional $3,500 for utilities. So that is a 25,000, and then 12 on top of that. That's 37, about almost $40,000 she got. I have one viewer who I think it's 80,000. I'm going through her notes, and then I have a couple other viewers, 5, 10, $20,000 that come on in. Boy, folks, this is how we do it. So pull that pen and paper out. If you're not a member, if you are a member, pull out that newsletter. And if you're not a member, why have you not become a member? The link is under the video right now. We're going to go over these big sums of money, how you get it, and you want to get these big sums of money. Here we go when we look at the rent. And when you look at the rent, these are the numbers back from October. The numbers have grown a lot since then. Under the words evenings, under the name Richard, it actually says 20,000 Nisi. So back then, Nisi got $20,000 of rent. But where do you get this money? 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. 6 things you must do. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must say the key words. You must get applications on file, and you must do multiple rounds. More about those multiple rounds in a second. Utility assistance. You want to get it. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000 a year. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Reach out to all utility companies and ask for utility assistance because of COVID. SNAP, you want to get it from Department of Agriculture. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year because of this channel. Can you imagine, is there any financial news channel in America that is getting any family $25,000 a year lifetime? Except this, there isn't. And SNAP will be really one of the big legacies of this channel. Millions and millions of dollars have been gotten from viewers of this channel who learned about SNAP. Now let's look at Nisi and what she taught us as well. Here's Nisi. She and Art Sullivan were the first to get 3 items. She got 3 items at $23,000. And they inspired all these viewers to get multiple combo items. Here was Mark. He had 2 items at $32,000. I made the recording to Mark. Where is your third? He went and got his third. Brought him to $50,000. Now he's got him more. He's at over $100,000. Lorraine, she was at $105,000. Now she's at $120,000. We have countless stories on this channel for viewers like Johnny, who helped 35 people, including his family, his 2 family members, and actually 3 family members. So I guess it was almost 36 people he helped. $850,000, almost $900,000 when you include his family members. Incredible. What I want you to do is I want you to get the latest round. So what we're talking about is third stimulus. I know this was passed in January of last year, but it's still paying out. You want to get it from now out as far as possible, but potentially May. You're new to this channel? Reach out to the 6 places. You're a long-standing viewer? Reach out to the place that got you money before. Get another round across the land. Then, if you reach out to all the places and ironically they said they don't have anything, which is very rare, then lean on the nonprofits. Can't get to May, then bring it in April, March, bring it in tighter. Now, here's something of sort of personal commentary tonight I want to go over with this for you on the rent. It's examples like Nisi that truly embody the spirit of this channel. And what embodies the spirit of this channel is that viewers have gotten rent in the spring of, no, let's back it up. Before third stimulus, viewers got this money in fall of 2020 when there was very little around. We got $250,000. It wasn't a lot, but it was, in those days, it was good because there wasn't a lot of money. When third stimulus dedicated $45 billion of money for this, viewers got a first round last year, a second round last summer. In the fall, December of last year, they got $15,000 by 4 months of rent. Now they're getting another round. If you're watching this video, you haven't gotten the round, go get it. Money is money. It was very fascinating. And here comes commentary. What's very fascinating is that I had one viewer yesterday said, you know, there's no money in the state of Missouri. It's untrue. It's untrue. And it's fascinating because since day one of getting people the sums of money, I've had viewers who listened and got the money, and viewers who simply want to say there isn't. And every time there's someone who says there isn't in a particular location, there's someone who says, I got it. I listened. I went and got the money. Because there is money. Go get it. Now, let's go over what's important to understand as we go into a big new week. As we go into a big new week, we have a lot of moving parts at hand. First, the Build Back Better Act is still alive and kicking. It will get passed. It will send out those checks. It is a path that is still being traveled. It does not have an inherent deadline. That is why we brought CR for stimulus into the equation on this channel. When we talk about CR for stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4.0, the reason why we're talking about 4 is I'm trying to find as many different places to put a stimulus check. At tonight, CR for stimulus 1.0, the original version, looks the best because of $15 billion, trillion, goodness, not billion, trillion, $15 trillion of discretionary funds now at the discretion of cabinet members has been included in this continuing resolution. This is huge, folks. I just said it wrong again. 1.5 trillion. It's one of those nights. It's not 15 trillion. It's 1.5 trillion. 1.5 trillion. It's so much money. I keep on messing it up. It's a lot. It's a lot of stimulus checks. And you don't need to get all of it. You just need to get some of it. And there you go. It's discretionary, and it's within the discretion of the agency that you want to have send you out the checks. Treasury, even if it wasn't within their discretion, let's say it was within the discretion of Congress, they could put it in there. You want to really advocate. This is one of the best setups we've had in many weeks. We have bipartisan support for a piece of legislation that's small, that has an inherent deadline of just a few weeks away, that has the funds dedicated in there, and the funds are discretionary. Just advocate. Just advocate. Now, you know how we do it. We don't put all our eggs in one basket on this channel, and we don't put all our bacon in one omelet. We got CR for Stimulus 4.0, 3.0, and 2.0 at issue as well. Meantime, this SS400, Joe Biden, you need to listen in because this is as simple as a phone call. Raising people's benefits up $300 a month on average right now, and then an additional $100 in December of this year or January next year. It's huge. And guess what? Inflation is not going to be 0% the year after that. Inflation is always 2%, 3%. So that could be an additional $90 every year on top of this. It could be SS $490, a year thereafter. This is what Joe Biden needs to do. Finally, a little bit of commentary across the board. It's important to stay positive and also stay informed. It's videos like today's video where I understand there's a lot going on in this video. There's a lot going on in this video. CR for stimulus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 pieces of legislation. Build Back Better, a 5th piece of legislation. SS 400, 6. Then repurposing money, 7. Then third stimulus, 8. We've covered 8 pieces of legislation with money that is for everything from newborn children all the way up to seniors. We've covered a lot of different money, a lot of items across the board. The viewers who've done well on this channel have been the viewers that listen and really go and pounce. The original expression of Purple Hawks delivered by me on this channel is pounce, Purple Hawks. You only know how to pounce if you know what you're pouncing for. So anyone who... I'm laughing because every time I see this comment, it just makes me crack up. Someone who comes into a video late on the live chat said, "What I missed, can you summarize it for me in 4 words?" Summarize 6 pieces of legislation covered over 50 minutes of video in 6 words. No, you can't. You gotta listen. You gotta apply. You gotta apply the information to the scenario. You gotta take notes. You gotta understand every equation. People who think things that are so simplistic are so inherently automatic that you don't do anything, don't understand that life often involves listening and learning. And the great thing is that viewers of this channel have done it. It was the first week of this channel when I was recording the EIDL videos. I didn't know that the viewers were so sophisticated. They're more sophisticated than me. I learned from the viewers. Viewers were asking me very tough questions. How do you do this with the EIDL? How do you do that with the EIDL? And suddenly I had a channel because viewers had questions. I had to figure out the answers. I found the answers. I delivered the answers. They got new questions. They were more sophisticated than I was. You and your abilities surprise yourself. Because as I give you more information and you become more sophisticated, you learn a lot more than you ever thought. If you start a video let's say you start a week watching this channel and you end the week really with the same level of understanding and you haven't improved, then you haven't watched the whole video through. It's the people that really listen to the video understand discretionary funds. I saw some people in the live chat last night saying, what is discretionary funds? So immediately I knew I had to explain what does discretionary funds mean. It's a term I had never really used on this channel. And when I see the comments, that means I got to explain this. It means viewers are listening really carefully. Discretionary funds, how does that work? What does that mean? 1.5, what's significance of 1.5? SS 400, how does that work? And then, of course, when I saw the comments that came in and said, the $400 will be taken by something else and we won't have the $400. Yeah, I knew I had to respond to that as well. I like it. It's people thinking things through and applying the information. Whether it's Nisi or Karen that is saying, hey, I got $20, $30, $40,000 from you as well. I'm going to get another $10,000. Or it's someone trying to figure out how a discretionary works. This is how you apply the information. Or someone saying, the first time home purchase, how do I get that money? It's doing it across the board. When you post a comment, don't worry, because I'm here to answer your question. Post your question. Don't worry if you phrase it wrong. I'll fix it for you. Someone said yesterday, how do I get that grant to go buy a first home? It's not a grant. It means at the time of the purchase of the first home, when you're about to close escrow, the federal government give money for the purchase of the first home. It's not like they're going to give you a check and you can keep in the wall, keep in your wallet and just sort of look for a house. No. It means you're about to close on the house, buy the house, and the federal government has money. People have great questions, and the better your questions become, the more you know you're listening and learning. That's what this channel is all about. Coming up tonight is more shows across the board where we cover more about this SS400. We cover more about the CR Stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4.0. We cover more about these incredible checks of the Build Back Better Act, and we cover more about third stimulus. Evenings countdown at 6 o'clock. Home stream stimulus at 7 o'clock. Evenings extra at 8 o'clock. And then our overnight shows at 9, 10, 11:30. And with that, I want you to subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial channel. Bring us to number 2. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Have a beautiful evening. Have a beautiful overnight. I will be in the live chat. I look forward to seeing you there. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening. Look good, look beautiful. And if you see a chick at the beach wearing lobster shorts, don't wave, just run for it. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.